What can the Phoenix Suns do to not repeat the mistakes of this postseason? There are some trade options available to them. Yes, right now, the two conference finals are going on in the NBA. 4 teams have made it, and each of them had to endure either 6 or 7 game series last round in order to advance. In short, it wasn't easy. But the cost of that, in the minds of many, was that the number 1 seed in the Phoenix Suns didn't make it. And that shocked many, given the Game 7 that was. So, if they're to improve, what can they do? We'll break it down for you. State of Phoenix. After their embarrassing Game 7 loss to the Dallas Mavericks, the Phoenix Suns are going to have some thinking to do. Many believe that this would finally be the year that Chris Paul would win his first championship ring, especially after they went to the NBA Finals last year and went 6 games with the Milwaukee Bucks, whom we should note lost in the same round as the Suns, thus ensuring a new champ for this year. Instead, the team lost to the Mavericks at home for the first time since 2019 and will now watch the rest of the playoffs from the comfort of their own homes. What's more is that Game 7 loss was a disaster. It was a blowout of such proportions that people were questioning Chris Paul and the rest of the team in the worst of ways. The summer looms with some big decisions. The drama surrounding DeAndre Ayton's contract extension has circulated the team all season. No deal ever got done, which means that Ayton is scheduled to become a free agent. There is a belief that Ayton is not coming back, especially since he played only 17 minutes in Game 7, which included none in the fourth quarter. If that is the case, the Suns need to get value in return and not let the former number 1 overall pick walk for nothing. So of course, then the question becomes, who do they try and get in order to stay relevant and push forward? Christian Wood and Eric Gordon. Houston Rockets receive DeAndre Ayton. Phoenix Suns receive Christian Wood, Eric Gordon. This trade would allow the Suns to open up more on offense. For starters, Woods is a way better outside shooter. Ayton made 7 3-point shots last season, while Wood made over 100. He finished last season making 1.9 3-point shots per game. Gordon, another great outside shooter, could join the second unit and provide some deep shooting with an already talented bench. With Cameron Johnson and Gordon on the second unit, the Suns would have 2 talented wings that could spot up. This would be a good move for the Rockets as well. The Rockets are rebuilding. Depending on what draft selection they get, the team could draft a player like Jabari Smith or Chet Holmgren. With Ayton in the middle, paired alongside Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr., the Rockets would have a talented young foundation that could probably compete in a few years. Plus, Ayton does have playoff success, having played in the NBA Finals last year. That knowledge of playing on a winner would help the young Rockets core develop into a winner. Ben Simmons. Yes, this is controversial, but roll with us on this, okay? Brooklyn Nets receive DeAndre Ayton. Phoenix Suns receive Ben Simmons. The idea is pretty simple. The Nets need a talented big man to help them win. Andre Drummond could come back, but that is no guarantee. You can't count on Blake Griffin anymore. Guys like DeAndre Jordan and LaMarcus Aldridge are way past their primes. It's time to get a younger player that can help the team win now. Ayton wants to be paid like a max player, so a sign and trade with Simmons, who is also a max player, would make sense for both sides. For starters, Ayton has skills that would translate great for Brooklyn. Ayton doesn't need to be a true scorer. He could rebound, shoot, block, and would still benefit from scoring under the basket in pick-and-roll situations because Kyrie Irving is handling the ball. Irving, who might be better at Paul in these situations, would make sure that Ayton would still get his 10 or more points. With that said, the team has Kevin Durant, Irving, and other solid shooters that could take care of the offense. Ayton would give the team 1 true defensive stopper and their best rebounder in 3 seasons. As for the Suns, adding Ben Simmons would give the Suns the true defensive player they are missing. While Chris Paul is a former all-defensive first-team player, he is not that anymore. He'll be 38 years old next year and can't hang with Luka Doncic or other players of his caliber. Simmons can play the forward spot, which could force Jay Crowder to play the 5 with Mikal Bridges at the 4. However, this small ball lineup could work and get Phoenix back in the NBA Finals. Simmons would have a perfect situation where he would not need to bring top-tier offense, while the Suns would have 2 Defensive Player of the Year candidates in Simmons and Bridges on the same team. Anthony Davis. Los Angeles Lakers receive DeAndre Ayton, Cameron Johnson, Landry Shamet, 2023 first-round pick, and a 2025 first-round pick. The Phoenix Suns receive Anthony Davis. Given Anthony Davis's injuries in the last few years, his value is fairly low. The Lakers would be happy to get a few first-round picks to help the franchise stay afloat after next season, especially with the chances that LeBron James could leave when his contract expires. For this year, the Lakers appear to have one last shot at winning another title with James in the fold. With the likelihood of Russell Westbrook picking up his option and sticking around, how can the Lakers get younger and more athletic? When the Lakers won the championship in 2020, the team had a top 3 defense. A lot of that was with Davis playing power forward and finishing near the top of the DPOY voting. Ayton would give the Lakers a true defensive stopper. Ayton is younger and can still rebound at a high level. The Lakers also get 2 solid outside shooters in Johnson and Shamet. Once James leaves after 2023, the team can hit the reset button with Westbrook's contract expiring and 2 draft picks for the future. If the Suns wanted to roll the dice on Davis, it would be a high-reward situation if it paid off. The Suns would have a more offensively skilled player with Davis in the paint than Ayton. If he stayed healthy, he could match what Ayton brought to the table in rebounds and blocks. Although when healthy, Davis is a top player in the league and a bona fide all-star. However, with Davis playing a combined 76 games the last 2 seasons, there would be a risk. The trade for Ayton. If Ayton was coming back next season, wouldn't it have made sense for him to play in the 4th quarter? When Monty Williams told the media that the decision was internal, that was a red flag for Ayton to come back to the team. The tea leaves have predicted this for months. The 2 sides couldn't agree during the season. Ayton believes he is worth more money than the Suns believe. The 2 sides will end in a divorce, which means that the Suns have to get value in return. If the Nets can get what they got in return for James Harden, which featured Ben Simmons not playing at all this season, the Suns should be able to get a solid offer for a player that could be an all-star one day. Or, if none of these are viable, they'll need to truly try for someone to help get the Suns back on track. The last 3 seasons have shown that the Suns can be a contender and can fight for the NBA title. But if Chris Paul wants to finally get that ring, he clearly needs even more help. So the Suns need to work their magic before time runs out, especially with the NBA getting tougher on both sides of the map. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the Phoenix Suns and the trade moves that they could make to not go out so early in the playoffs next year? Do you think that any of these trades are honestly viable for them? Or do you think that there is something else that they need to do in order to truly advance back to the NBA Finals? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on the channel.